PC24 ਦੇ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਬਹੁਤ-ਬਹੁਤ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਹੈ ਜੀ। ਮੈਂ ਹਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਹੋਸਟ ਪਾਲ ਚੀਮਾ। ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਸੱਜਣਾਂ ਨੂੰ, ਭੈਣਾਂ ਭਰਾਵਾਂ, ਵੱਡਿਆਂ ਛੋਟਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਲੱਖ ਲੱਖ ਵਧਾਈ ਹੋਵੇ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਅੱਜ ਜਨਮ ਦਿਨ ਮਨਾਏ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਆ ਜੀ, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਅੱਜ ਐਨੀਵਰਸਰੀਜ਼ ਆਈਆਂ ਨੇ, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਘਰ ਨਵ ਜਨਮੇ ਸ਼ਿਸ਼ੂ ਬੱਚੇ ਪੈਦਾ ਹੋਏ ਆ ਜੀ, ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਵੱਧ ਗਿਆ ਤੇ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਪੋ ਆਪਣੇ ਮਕਾਨਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਕਲੋਜ਼ੀਆਂ ਕਰਾ ਲਈਆਂ। ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੇ ਮੌਸਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਭਾਈ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਲੱਖ ਲੱਖ ਮੁਬਾਰਕਬਾਦ ਹੋਵੇ। ਅੱਜ ਅਸੀਂ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਦੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਇੱਕ ਖੋਟ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਰੂਬਰੂ ਹੋਵਾਂਗੇ। ਅੱਜ ਸਾਡੇ ਗੈਸਟ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਨਾਮ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਸੂਰਾ ਜੀ। ਹਾਲੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸਕਰੀਨ ਤੇ ਕਿਧਰੇ ਦੇਖ ਨਹੀਂ ਰਹੇ, ਉਮੀਦ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਜਲਦੀ ਹੀ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਆ ਜਾਣਗੇ ਤੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਆ ਜੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਰੂਬਰੂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਰਾਉਂਦੇ ਆ। ਤੇ ਜਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਿਧਰੇ ਭੁੱਲ ਨਾ ਗਿਆ ਹੋਏ ਕਿ ਅੱਜ ਬੁੱਧਵਾਰ ਦਾ ਦਿਨ ਆ, ਵੈਨਸਡੇ ਅੱਜ ਅੰਗਰੇਜ਼ੀ ਵਾਲਾ, ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਅੱਜ ਹੋਣਾ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ। ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਉਹ ਥਰਸਡੇ ਨੂੰ ਆਇਆ ਕਰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ, ਪਰ ਕੋਈ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ, ਆ ਜਾਂਦੇ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਨਾਮ ਸੁਣਿਆ ਹੋਣਾ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ NFL ਵਗੈਰਾ 'ਚ ਇੰਟਰਸਟ ਲੈਂਦੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਨਾਮ ਸੀਗਾ ਜੀ ਵਿੰਸ ਲੋਂਬਾਰਡੀ। 1913 'ਚ ਪੈਦਾ ਹੋਏ, 1970 ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਸ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਨੂੰ ਅਲਵਿਦਾ ਕਰ ਗਏ। ਲਓ ਜੀ, ਜੁੜ ਗਏ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ। ਅਸੀਂ ਬੜੀ ਬੇਸਬਰੀ ਨਾਲ ਇੰਤਜ਼ਾਰ ਕਰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਨੇ ਹੁਣ ਆਪਾਂ ਸਕਰੀਨ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਦੇ। ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਜੀ, ਵੈਲਕਮ।
ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ। ਹਾਊ ਆਰ ਯੂ ਡੂਇੰਗ?
ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ। ਮੈਂ ਸੋਚਿਆ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਭੁੱਲ ਭਾਲ ਹੀ ਗਏ ਅੱਜ।
No, not at all. Just on schedule as usual. So I guess I missed the quote of the day.
We haven't said the quote of the year yet. So this is where we are coming to the quote right now. So I thought I will pick you up with me here and then I will say the quote. So do you have an interest in NFL? Football game?
I've watched it sometimes, but not majorly, right?
All right. So this guy, his name is Vince Lombardi. He lived with us for a very short while, like born in 1913 and died this month on 3rd of September 1970. So that makes him around close to 57 years.
57.
If my math is correct. So he was a very accomplished person and he was an NFL coach. And he was mostly working for Green Bay Packers, a team he had led to 5 championships. He was the head coach. He was a general manager of the Green Bay Packers, and he led team to 3 NFL championships and 2 victories in Super Bowls 1 and 2, 1967 and 1968. Because of his success, he became a national symbol of single-minded determination to win. Single-minded determination to win. What a fantastic phrase it is. As coach and general manager and part owner of the Washington Redskins, he led that team to its winning season in 14 years in 1969, and he died in 1970 from colon cancer. That was so unfortunate. He played himself, but then he was noted by NFL, then he became a pro coach, and he did fantastic as a coach. So this is what he said. We are talking about his favorite quote. So to give you a snapshot once again, quick facts. Vince Lombardi, or Vincent Thomas Lombardi was his full name. He was born on June 11th, 1913. Died on September 3rd, 1970. And he screened Army game films for General Douglas MacArthur for a short time in 1950s He taught football in Japan too. Fordham University, St. Francis Preparatory School, New York, Washington, D.C. is where he came from. So his quote is this: the difference between a successful person and others is not a lack of strength, is not a lack of knowledge, but rather a lack of will. That's what he said. I have some issues playing my code these days. I don't know what I did, that the codes don't show up on my screen the way I want them to show up. This is driving me nuts, but here it is in a different format. So he said the difference between a successful person and others is not a lack of strength, a lack of knowledge, only lack of will. Isn't that so true? That's what differentiates me from you, because I don't have that lack of will. You have lack of will. You are very determined, like you have your schedule, and I don't know how you do that, but you have a schedule. I have no schedule. I am a free bird, Amrit. I go here and there as my car turns its wheel. If it turns left, I go left. If it turns right, I go right. I don't care which way I'm going.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's just, everyone has their own timetable, and you're from the army background as well. So everything was like a regimented thing. So even as early as when a child goes to school, there's a timetable put in front of them, right? So everything happens according to a timetable, and I think as creatures within society and nature and communities, if we have our own timetable, your results would be a little bit different, right? But regardless, at the end of the day, everybody has their own process. So whatever that process is, be fully respectful of where you're going and your goals that you hope to achieve, and you gradually chip away at them, and you'll make it to exactly where you want to go. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not it's not one size fits all. Everybody has their own little ways to.
It is not one size that fits all. That's so right, and I like the way you put it up. And this is so true, right? One size doesn't fit all. This is phenomenal, amazing.
I mean, just look at the complexities within the financial industry, where on a day-to-day basis you're dealing with it, because some of your clients require assistance on financial preparation. So the biggest thing is, how does your financial situation fit into the avenue that you're intending to go? For this case, I mean, does your financial situation fit well with the processes put in place by the authorities in order for you to get a house? So you'll have your own, you'll meet your own criteria in a certain way, because obviously, yes, qualification processes need to take place in a certain way, and then slight adjustments need to be made in order for you to qualify or prove that you can make the commitments you sign up to, right? So
absolutely, commitment is very, very important, and commitment is what runs people's life, and one should be committed. You say it right or you say it wrong, but there you are. You have to honor your word of mouth. There used to be a time when people wouldn't, write contracts. It will be verbal purchase, sale of large estates. If someone took a loan, then they will say, I will pay you back, and they will pay it back. But now you need tons and tons of clauses just to make sure this person doesn't run away. This has become tragic, but at the same time, there is a clarity in people's mind too. So we are okay either way, right? So this is what we like to say. Today, I would like to also share something very interesting that came to my knowledge day before as I was watching a TikTok video on this personality. I'm going to show it here. This personality, his name is Ram Singh, the designer of the Indian Darbar Hall. He was invited by Queen Victoria to actually do this Indian Darbar Hall in the palace. Did you ever know about it, Amrit?
No, not at all.
Yeah, we are so ignorant of our own amazing history, me included in this. This is phenomenal. I couldn't stress much. I was fascinated. This little child fixed piano of an English officer. That piano could not be fixed by anyone. He was also principal of a college, working with the designing and all those things. It's, I think, National School of Art, something like that now in Pakistan. So it's all about Pakistan. This is how he looked in his older age. And these are things he created. He designed the architect of all these buildings. The Lahore Museum construction began in 1890. He did it. He did this one. Etchison, how you pronounce it? Etchison College. It's again, I think, in Pakistan. He did the architect. And then National College of Arts. This used to be known as Mayo School. This is where Bhai Ram Singh learned carpentry, and he did that. And I'm not sure if you're aware of it. And then this building, the Islamia College Peshawar, designed by Bhai Ram Singh. And then Chamba House Lahore, great accomplishment. And this was so amazing that he did all this. This is how he looked like. It is a painting. It's a royal collection, if you see that. Rudolph Swoboda was the guy who painted him, by Ram Singh. There used to be a principal before him. His name was Mr. Kipling. Mr. Kipling was paid $500, 500 pounds, I guess, to be the principal of this school. But when Ram Singh took over, he was paid very less. I think 70 or something like that. And he said, it's only the color of my skin that you are giving me so less money. So I think they didn't hire him as a principal, but later he was promoted as a principal. And I would like to play this quick video. I hope you can hear the audio. Watch it out. So that was what he was. And it is so amazing that this person did so much stuff, but nobody recognized him. I guess one of the reason could be there wasn't much control with the Indians at the time, but after independence, I think they could support him. So these two people, Parvez Vandal and Sajda Vandal, they wrote a book on him, which you can download for free. This is called The Raj Lahore and Bhairam Singh by Parvez Vandal and Sajida Vandal. You can download this book for free. There is no charge to download it. So this is how it looks like. And it is a very extensive 280 pages book detailing the circumstances around the pre-partition India. Everything is explained very well there. You need a lot of time to read it and go through it. If you have not, I strongly recommend walking through this book. This is a fabulous collection. So why I brought him in today's show? Because he belonged to our real estate industry in one or the other format. He was an architect, a designer, a carpenter, a master carpenter, I would say. His work is so minute. It has so much detail. I can't even tell you that. The tables he made, the things he made were phenomenal. If I could share that book with you, and you will be astonished how this guy went to that length to make sure there are all the details in his work. I'm really fascinated by this person. I know we're deviating slightly from our program format, but this is really important. It actually gives me goosebumps to see what this guy was capable of doing and how we do not know about this person. This is something that bothers me. And he should have been on the forefront of all literature, all architect. Something should have been dedicated to him, and this is how we totally disregarded him. This is one of his picture with Sir Kipling, who was the principal of the school at that time. So this is the book. I just downloaded it. I'm going to go through it. And this is again him, his picture. This is a phenomenal work. So you must guys watch it out if you haven't seen it again. 280 pages of glorious material. All his work here. Look at this. See this? This kind of grid or grill, or which they call pinjara. Pinjara, you know, pinjara cage kind of, and it's in walnut with pinjara work. Calcutta exhibition 1883 to 1884. Head Mistri, Miles Schools of Arts. That is phenomenal. And this lamp designed by him, the table lamp, all wooden. Can you ever see these things? Rewari brassware. Oh, brassware, sorry. It's a brassware. Inkstand and those things. This kind of Hindu brass vessels, Ram Singh. These designs, embossed copper Sikh work. So bottom line is, we should be proud of our heritage.
Absolutely.
We are into this industry for a long, long time, not today or tomorrow. We are going to stay there for a long time. Anyway, so what's going up with the housing market in BC, your area, Abbotsford? Are you making lots of money these days?
You know, at the end of the day, money is a circle, right? Money comes and continues on going and going. Now, obviously, with the interest rate hikes, people are making decisions in a longer time. So, the market that we knew in the last 3 years is no more. And I think the powers that be that control the financial houses, they want to make sure that they bring down the inflation as much as possible. And it might take 6 months to 8 months, maybe another year before we see things stabilizing. But at the end of the day, if people are in a position that they bought 20 or 30 years ago, or if they bought an investment property and they need to release it in order to make some other financial commitments, selling is still happening. The
It is
buyers
happening.
are, yeah, the buyers at the present time are in a little bit more of a control situation, because they're able to take their time, do the due
Yes.
diligence, make the inquiries to the city. At the end of the day, we have another exciting listing coming up early next week, which may again be one of the listings that might stay on the market. Instead of 1 month, it might take 3 months to sell, right? So at the end of the day, it really depends on who requires that type of real estate.
Yes.
So what we're finding now is a lot of people who have had the ability to save away money, they might take the opportunity to get into some pre-sales if they get some good deals, right?
Yeah.
So there's some really good deals to happen. If a very astute buyer's agent can really research a certain property, maybe it was on the market last year and it expired or it got terminated and it's back on the market. Really doing the historic research on what the situation is with the property, asking the right questions, having the time and ability to make the right connections with the agents, right? To serve their client, to make sure they get a good deal. If it's at $1,095,000 and last year they had it, or 6 months ago they had it at $1,200,000, and now it's dropped $105,000. Maybe they'll drop it another $95,000, and you'll be able to acquire a reasonable property for your family's needs, right?
You're right. I go with it. Yes.
And some people are using the real estate as an investment vehicle to provide housing to people who require rental property. So at the end of the day, the amount of transactions has lessened, but still there's activity. Absolutely, yeah. There'll always be activity within the real estate market, right?
Yeah. Good to know that. Stay with us. We will be back after a short break. Thank you very much. Are you looking for a reliable legal office that can handle your closing in the most effective manner? If yes, please get in touch with Rakesh Joshi at 416-213-8600. Joshi Law Office provides all the legal advices about real estate law, business law, immigration laws, notarization and affidavits, wills and trust. Give them a call today, 416-213-8600. Are you looking for reliable immigration services? If yes, contact Sukhi Paul at 647-296-4575 or office phone number 905-790-8877. They are located at 219-220 at 7956 Torban Road. It's right at the intersection of Torban Road and Steeles Avenue West. Contact them for all kind of visa services. Finding an honest and diligent insurance and investment advisor is a rarity these days. If you are looking for great advice, contact Mr. Bhupendra Mane, who is the Regional Director of Cosmos Financial Center. They are located at Unit number 830 Top Flight Drive, Mississauga. The phone number to call is 647-448-6229. Give them a call today. Is your business suffering from performance? If yes, it is the right time to call Ravinder Duggi at 416-807-7986. She will find out the weak points and the points where the performance issues are paramount and help you fix those issues. Give her a call today. Do not be late. Are you looking to buy or sell your home or any commercial real estate? If yes, call me today at 647-333-2273 or 647-328-3279. I provide services in real estate and mortgages. I am mortgage broker with Akal Mortgages Inc., where when we say yes, we stand behind our promise. Reach out to me today. Do you want to shop right without burning your pockets? If yes, please visit Monisha Discount Warehouse at 377 Burnhamthorpe Road, East Mississauga, Ontario. They are the best. They have all kind of Indian, Pakistani and other local stuff that you can buy at literally throwaway prices. Contact them at 905-361-0773. Monisha Discount Warehouse. D.P. Jain is a well-known name in the fields of accounting. You can contact him today at his cell number 416-305-0080 or his office number 905-790-9327. Once you start working with him, you will never want to leave him. He is 5-star professional. Call him today. D.P. Jain Professional Corporation. PC24 retv is heard over so many different channels. If you want to promote your business for free, call me at 647-333-2273. You can also send your artwork to contact@paulchima.com. We are here to be partners in your business success. 647-333-2273. 24 RTV is back for you after the commercial break. Thank you very much for staying with us. We are speaking with Amrit Sura, realtor from Abbotsford, British Columbia. All the way from British Columbia. Beautiful British Columbia. Green. Lush green actually. Lot of beautiful sceneries, mountains, neighborhoods. If you need to move to that neighborhood, please feel free to give him a call at 778-999-1531. I can guarantee you that he will not disappoint you. The best service, the clear-cut, defined lines of operations, and the best moving experience for you. So let's continue with our discussion with Mr. Amrit Sura. Yeah, he said that there are lots of good choices available for the buyers. It needs a little research, setting down your own price, seeing your own comfort level, and getting that big, taking that big leap of faith to your new home. This is how you should move there. It is actually a big leap of faith here, right, Amrit?
Absolutely. I mean, what you've got to also see is that, even with the rising oil prices, we've got some transitionary migration going east back to Calgary because, again, they want to see there's going to be a bit of a boom in the Calgary area, right? So now those people are saying, okay, well, let's sell here, okay, and then let's transition into Calgary where we can get a single family house for under $500,000. So that momentum will continue. People who have been out of this province and maybe they've had a couple of winters in the East Coast, maybe in Nova Scotia, maybe in Montreal, they'll gradually make their way back. Yes, people in the trades, they want a comfortable life in order to bring up their families in rural neighborhoods. However, sometimes logistically, being away from family, extended family, your friends, especially if you've grown up in BC, and you take that migration into the East Coast, you might find yourself after a couple of years, you're missing home, right? So,
Yep.
yes, they set their roots into Eastern Canada. However, the comfort of living in British Columbia, the climate conditions is really what is very attractive on this part of in this part of Canada. I mean, you're in Toronto, and I've heard sometimes in the Ontario area, when you go into the northern areas, you're up to anywhere between -20 to -30. So
No, don't say that. I'm already shaking because we are experiencing some cold winds these days in the evening and early morning. It's coming. Winter is coming.
So, when winter does set in, people, yes, they can either buckle down and stay at home, or if they're willing to take that leap of faith, as you said, into a transition to Western Canada. And I find that is a key thing for a lot of new immigrants.
Mm-hmm.
They come in sponsored well. They've done their applications. They immigrate through the legal channels onto the East Coast, and then they eventually end up on the West Coast. Okay, is that enough to say that the house prices will go back into an upward trajectory? I certainly think there'll be continued interest. People will keep coming here because, again, there's, the climate makes a huge difference of where you.
It does. It absolutely makes a huge difference. There is no doubt about that. So,
but being human beings and being able to be flexible. That flexibility might only be 3 to 4 years, and then off to British Columbia they go, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whether they say whether they rent for 1 year and then look into buying. At the end of the day, there's always a size that fits for that particular party that's transitioning, right? So. It all depends on motivation. Unless you're moving from Siberia to Canada, I mean, I don't think you're going to be finding 4 seasons as we have here in British Columbia, like anywhere else. I mean, I'm not saying other parts of Canada aren't attractive to be. It might be. It might be somebody else's focus to say, okay, I've got enough equity. I've got a few more years to go. I'll do some investment strategies in Calgary, in Winnipeg, maybe even Ontario, right?
Yeah.
Because there's some good, unique properties in Ontario, duplexes, fourplexes, which people want to get into the rental game, as it were. It becomes something which you can certainly explore.
Yes, absolutely. So exploring is what is the most exciting thing of person's life. You came all the way from your comfort zones, from India, from Indonesia, from China, Japan, Hong Kong. You took a leap of faith. This is a second leap of faith. Because there are certain areas where you can avoid snow or maybe get very less snow and you can still enjoy your life. So what he is talking, Amrit is talking, is that he's telling you about the best options available. So fantastic. So today I would also like to coin a new term here, which may not be new for you, Amrit, but for me, that is definitely a new terminology. This is called pig butchering. Have you ever heard that?
Big butchering or pig butchering?
Pig butchering.
Oh, no, I've not heard of that.
Okay. So you and me are on the same page then. Pig butchering refers to a scam in cryptocurrency where some innocent people like Amrit, who has tons of cash stashed away in his bank accounts, like 10, 15, 20 million dollars, they are being targeted. So someone gives you a call, tries to create a rapport with you, so you are friends, you are telling them your secrets, you are telling them your family problems, it becomes a friendly situation, and you haven't never met that person. And then suddenly the person brings up a dialogue, says, I want to help you grow your money. How can I do it? Okay, it's simple. I will give you a platform. You try that platform and see how your money grows. Easy, effortless, and enjoyable. Easy, effortless, and triple E here, right? I just made something triple E. You get hooked up because you just want to experiment with that app. And you are told it's not going to cost you money, not costing a cent. And then you download that app from the Apple Store. This is mostly on Apple Store. And you start practicing on it. Then you suddenly find, oh, I lost $1,000. And the person says, don't worry, we'll recover that cash for you. There may be some glitch. Basically, it doesn't mean anything. And then as the trust becomes better, even though you have not met the person, you start trusting the person. And at some point in time, the person is going to tell you, hey, I got an inside story from this Coinbase or any major platform. There is a big thing coming up in Bitcoin, so let's invest money. And then you get hooked up to it. You put money and then you put $10,000 and they show you a profit of $3,000 overnight. Wow. There's a lot of profit on $10,000. And then you pay more and you pay more and you pay more, and it can even cross $1 million. This is what happened exactly to an innocent man in US. So one man lost $1 million to a crypto super scam called pig butchering. So this guy, I think he was from Hong Kong. He fell for this lady. Her name apparently was Jessica. And Jessica told him, oh, I found your phone number in my contact list. And I didn't remember if we ever met, or I don't know, maybe we are old friends or classmates, so we crossed our paths, we are common society. So somehow a connection was created. Then she would keep sending pictures of what she was eating. She was jogging, she was happy, this and that. So it created a relationship with the person. And eventually this guy's dad was severely ill. He was on deathbed, but she still did not let him relax. And she kept saying, even the day his dad passed away, you send me more money because your dad wanted you to do this. And he put in around $500,000. And she said, bring more money, borrow it from your friends because a big news is coming in crypto. We're going to make a lot of money. And eventually this guy borrowed, sold all his assets to find more money. Sometime his account will show a negative balance. And he got scared. Then she said, don't worry, it will come back. Let's put more money. And then the balance will suddenly go high. And then at some point, it will again drop zero. So after he had put in $1 million, his balance was zero. And police told him they cannot recover the money for it because he willingly gave it to them. Exact same thing happened to one of my clients who moved to St. Catharines from Mississauga. He sold his property, had $500,000, bought a house, $250,000 in his bank account, and this guy called him, showed him the software, and asked him to put money there. He did that. Nothing came back. He lost the money. He has hired some Iraqi detective or something like that. He's trying to do it, but I don't see any chance of that money coming through. This person is devastated. His family kicked him out. He made everyone homeless, lost everything, and he had suicidal thoughts. He was taken to hospital. He is given mental consultation, and all those things are happening. So what I want to say is, do not fall prey to any such scam. Hold on to your money tight. So the app, let me find out the name of the app, and Apple Store said they're going to look into that. So this app has a trial version. So what that trial version does is you can actually manipulate that. If you give that platform to someone, you can show whatever you want to show them, up or down. And while people invest money in the scam account, this account keeps showing them profit or loss. When they realize that, okay, he has no money now, then they just stop talking. And Jessica told him, do not talk to me. I'm done with it. I think the app is maybe Coinbase or something like that. They have an app trial version, and everyone is now trying to find out. FBI is looking into the case. If you have similar experience, you can contact authorities and try to get that. So this app has 4.7 stars. The name of the app is MetaTrader, METATRADER, on the App Store. Because it is on the App Store, people usually believe this is correct, this is legitimate. It is legitimate, but it has a platform within it which can be used to manipulate your money and your profit. So be very careful. So pig butchering is platform agnostic. It can occur via LinkedIn, via dating apps, or even, as the case was with this person, his name was Sai, through a random WhatsApp text message. So be very careful. An innocent life gets totally destroyed. So this is what is happening. While you and me are trying to do our best to make some honest money, some people just vanish away with people's money, and they are butchers, really butchers. This is a real term. The only thing I didn't like is he called the victims as pig. Pig butchering.
Oh my goodness.
$1 million stolen without using any physical contact or threat or anything. You are willingly throwing in money. It's kind of being hypnotized. You ever lost money like that, Amrit?
Thankfully, no. And touch wood,
I did. I did.
You did? Oh my.
I was brand new in Canada. And me and my daughter, very young at that time, 6, 7 years old. Maybe she was 10 years old. Yeah. So we went to shopping mall. We came out, we were trying to find our car. And then suddenly this guy appeared in front of a white van. And he said, oh, I have some extra speakers if I wanted. Electronics, man, music, right? Men actually want the music or electronic gadget. And he said, oh, my company ordered only 5 pieces, but he got 6 pieces. If he gives it to his boss, well, boss will keep it and make profit. So why not I sell it to you and make some money? He showed me a bill an invoice showing 5 demanded, but 6 was totally free. And he actually played that for me. And this was music like ripping through the whole parking lot. He put an amplifier and this was boom, 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 boom. I said, okay. My daughter, little she was, she tried to stop me saying, Papa, mom will be upset. Don't buy it. I didn't even have a stereo speaker, stereo player at the time. I said, okay, we'll take stereo later on, but let's get this speaker first. So 2 big floor speakers in big case, like they were this big, around 3 feet tall, 3 or 3.5 feet tall, with speakers in it. And I said, okay, I will buy them. I didn't have money, so he went with me to the ATM. And he drew money from ATM. What an idiot I was at that. So he could have forced me to take more money out. But I think he said there are $400, he will sell it to me for $170. I paid him, brought those speakers home. When I plugged them in, nothing worked. They were dead on arrival. I don't know what I played. They never worked. And they were in my garage for more than 5 years before I finally threw them out. We still remember that. And I said that was my first experience with Canadian scammers. Then I did some research. They are called white van scammers, something like that. And now we see people selling jewelry or diamonds or something like that in the shopping mall, or perfumes. Same way, I don't listen to them anymore. I learned my lesson. But my lesson was very cheap, $170 only.
Yeah, sometimes you have to be like a stone, right? At the end of the day, you're going to get all sort of unsolicited offers, whether it's on LinkedIn, TikTok, all the platforms out there. The main issue this day and age, everybody's looking for that instant gratification. So when they play on people's emotion, you can really manipulate it, and it's basically a bit of a disaster if you look at it that way. At the end of the day, it's kind of like gambling, right? You can go into a casino and you'll have the same amount of emotion whether you win or lose.
Absolutely. So I decided not to believe these people anymore, because that was my first and last mistake in Canada. I never ever went for that kind of scam in future. I said, no way, this is not that what I'm going to do in future, and I'm done with it, because that was really scary, man. And I have seen people being taken to ATMs and forced to draw money. But anyways, let's come back from that. And this is what RBC says. It's a macroeconomic outlook for September 2022. It says a truly soft landing for the economy is one where labor markets and broader economic conditions settle to sustainable levels, without a contraction in GDP, which is gross domestic product, or unemployment rates rising above full employment level. This scenario, while ideal, looks increasingly unlikely for the Canadian economy. Labor markets remain exceptionally strong across most advanced economies, with unemployment rates still around the lowest levels in decades. But central banks at home and abroad continue to push ahead with aggressive interest rate hikes intended to cool overheating demand and tame inflation pressures. We expect We expect the year ahead to bring recessions for Canada, the United States, the Euro area, and the United Kingdom. Welcome, Madam Recession. That said, we expect RBC sales. We expect, it's not me and Amrit, it's RBC, their economist. The coming downturn in Canada will be moderate by historical standards. Their call is for the unemployment rate to rise 1.7 percentage point from trough to peak over the next year and a half. Compared to previous downturn, that kind of labor pain is relatively mild. Signs are that inflation pressures have peaked, at least in North America, as global commodity prices fall from very high level. Supply chains disruptions ease and housing markets correct under the weight of rising mortgage costs. Still, central banks will continue to pump the monetary policy brakes until consumer demands has softened enough to bring inflation fully back to its targets. This is where we are. So that means you open your doors and let inflation walk in. Just like they say, Lakshmi is coming in. No, inflation is coming in. It's going to steal your hard money. I think people are going to close the doors to inflation. They won't let it in. So, recession, we have been talking about recession ever since we started the broadcast. It's only that they're painting a rosy picture and telling everyone, no, we're okay, we're good, we're fine. Till that wool they pulled over your eyes is fading and you are going to see the reality. So before you see the reality, they will tell it to you. Amazing politics.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing about, playing with numbers, and whatever numbers are published at the end of the day, it certainly has been a massive impact, because again, yes, they're saying there's the lowest unemployment rates, but maybe it's because people have to maybe they're trying to basically strangle the consumer into, no, stay home at this present time, don't spend, right? So gradually we'll see the result of the inflation rate come down, because since March it has come down from what was 8.7 in March, and then now it's down to 7.6. Yeah. So that's taken a good 6 months.
Well, yeah, it's going to take a lot more time, because this is not going to go easy. This is going to take its own time, because this is where things are. Inflation, like if it took 6 months to come down from this to this point, just imagine how far the bank needs to bring it down between 2 and 3% rate. It's going to be a very, very uphill task for the government, and a very depressing time for the consumer. I feel for them. It is really scary picture out there, and it scares me. One of our transactions, Amrit, is about to fall apart because the buyer is not able to come up with enough cash. Sold in June, and intended closing is tomorrow, so I'm still crossing my hands. Hopefully we close by some miracle, but this guy fails to understand the complications. So let's hope for the best. I had a long discussion with my clients. So what happens when the deal doesn't close? The next day, sellers can put the property back on market. The courts would like to see that the parties try to mitigate the loss. If the case goes to court for claiming deposit by the sellers and buyer tries to fight it, the courts are going to ask, did you try to mitigate the loss? That means the sellers will have to release the property at the same price they listed at that time, trying to get the same amount of money. They will have to expose it for a good 2-3 weeks, try to get an offer. If they don't get an offer or they get a lower offer, they will have to prove to the courts that yes, we tried it and we got $200,000 less than what we sold for. After full exposure, full open houses, everything was done correctly. Now the case would be for the shortfall of the money plus the deposit. The judge will have to decide which way they lean, to the buyer side or to the seller side. Because in this market, honest to God, nobody is wrong. Buyer wasn't prepared, seller wasn't prepared, so where do we stand? Let the judge make a decision. If the deal doesn't close, judge will be deciding who gets the money and who gets the shortfall. If the judge is convinced that property sold for less, then they may award full amount, half amount, ask them to, come to a common understanding on how to do it. All about it. I really hope the property sells for the price it sold in June, which is very, very unlikely. But if you are in similar situation, you are the seller, your property is not closing, this is how you have to do it. Some realtors will try to buy your house, but that can be taken in a totally wrong perception by the court, that the agents created a situation to drive away the buyer and grab the property at a throwaway price. So make sure you give sellers an exposure to sell the property in the open market, and then step in if you have to step in to help them out, get out of this catch-22 situation. This is where we are. Any final thoughts on this, Amrit?
Well, I think at the end of the day, you got to stay determined on. There's one more day to go. You're at the finish line. Hopefully, something happens and the gentleman can come up with the money that's required, right?
Yeah, well,
you got to stay consistent and persistent on the results you're trying to get. So,
we're trying. That's where the whole focus is. We just want this to, get closed. And I had a long meeting with the sellers yesterday, and we're talking for a long, long time. And I said, unfortunately, this is where we are stuck. And they understand it, they get it, but the bottom line is they have to sell. It has to, move. That's the focus. It has to move, it has to go, and there is no other option for us.
Well, time will tell. Time will be the, I suppose it'll come out in the open tomorrow, and then you'll make a.
Yeah. Sorry, I accidentally cut you off.
So the closing out message from my side is, the challenges are always going to be there. You just have to keep persistent at getting the results that you desire and making things work in the way you can make them work, right?
Yeah. That's the whole focus. That's what we are trying to get the thing moving. So I'm really looking forward to it. Let's hope for the best. We have until 6 p.m. tomorrow. But before we take leave, I would like to say this to all those people who have lost their beloved one today. Paul Shima, Amrit Sura, and PC24, its entire team is sympathetic toward you. We shall pray for peace to the departed soul and also pray to God to give you courage and strength to overcome this void in your life. Thank you very much for watching PC24. Stay tuned, which will be live tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Well, we shall bring some content which may help you in shorter or longer term. The program is intended to educate buyers and sellers so they can make the best decisions in their home purchase or home sale journeys. If you watch this program over YouTube, may I please ask you to like, subscribe, and share our channels with others. Thank you very much for this support, and do not forget, we have a contest going on. You can win $100 gift prize if you comment on at least 3 episodes every week. And the first draw is intended to be on 16th September. We'll send out a $100 gift card. You are shared with the details of the contest. It is in the whole text under this video. Please go through it and let me know. So I wish you success. So this contest is intended, Amrit, that people can interact with us and we can share some money with those people. Try to see if people give us some advice on making it better, or is it already better, making it super better, or it's worse, trying to make it to the acceptable level. There's a whole idea behind this $100 gift card for September 16.